Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews of comics new and old, to history to anecdotes, to really wherever our whims take us. Lois Lane or Wonder Woman for Superman? It's an old question, and for some fans and shippers, a hard-fought battle, full of many rationales, both deep and flimsy. The comics themselves have also taken their turns wrestling with this concept. Is Lois Lane compatible with the Man of Steel? Or does he need a super-powered partner? Alliteration. While some feel that Lois is just too flimsy, too weak to be with the Man of Steel, and some take it to some carnal ways, others feel that Wonder Woman is a bit too obvious, like a jock dating a cheerleader. This has led to many stories, whole arcs even, like the New 52. And rejections of what some view as the problematic notion that multiple women in a narrative only ever exist to be rivals for a man's affections. Then you get depictions where the two women are portrayed as friends, or at least coming to an understanding of some kind. There could be a whole retrospective on this triangle, but there is one spot, so bizarre, but one of many bizarre spots, that stands out above the rest. It needs its own turn in the spotlight. It should surprise none of you who have been here for a while that we need to take a look once more at Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. I posted this snippet of a cover on my community tab and got quite the response. Some thought it was fake. Others approved, either of Wendy tossing Lois or of Lois Lane's fishnets. And of course there were the so this is what led to the New 52 jokes. You were so interested, I thought you'd like to see the whole story. Does it involve marriage? I hear some of you asking. Of course it does. So get ready to see why Superman is egging on his own personal mud wrestling match. But before we get started, I'm Sasha, and if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're feeling so inclined, hit that join button to help us produce more content, get access to some behind the scenes footage and emojis and the like. Now, let them fight. This tale of Lois versus Wonder Woman comes to us from Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, issue 93, published in 1969, with art by Irv Novick and Mike Esposito, written by Robert Kanigher. Incidentally, the author who would retcon the mod Wonder Woman out of existence hard. We talked about how Diana became mod and depowered Wonder Woman in another video, so if you want to get caught up as to why she's rocking that 60s fashion so hard, I will have a card and a link. That is a story in and of itself. See, if you watch all my videos, it all slowly starts to come together, a tapestry of continuity that is hopefully starting to make sense. The cover features a gleeful Wonder Woman tossing a fashionably fishnetted Lois over her head, as Superman experiences maximum petty joy of his own in the back. Haha, great show, Wonder Woman. Featuring the Superman Wonder Woman team. Watch them not fight crime and instead beat up their allies. Our teaser page shows Superman and Wonder Woman flying overhead together, and also reveals that the public knows way more than it should about Wonder Woman. If she's flying, she must have her superpowers back. Why is it common knowledge that she lost them? Poorly played, Diana. I know it would be hard to hide after a time, but at least make the effort, because she did not. Instead, she gave interviews to a magazine where she talked about being depowered and also how she opened a mod fashion boutique, the Mod Shop. The narrative box also rubs on the fact that Steve Trevor died. R.I.P. Steve. With Steve gone, I had to switch to whole wheat. Lois laments that she is the one who gave Diana her powers and got this couple off the ground. The terrible jokes and puns have been flowing lately. It's a gift and a curse. We actually start with Lois dreaming about marrying Superman, with a very concerned looking superhero community in the back, but the dream becomes a nightmare when he's suddenly marrying Wonder Woman. But Lois doesn't feel she has to worry, because she's been keeping up with the magazines and they say that Diana's been depowered, and so she feels that means that her dream or nightmare will remain just that. Wonder Woman can't be my rival. She's been transformed into an ordinary mortal without her Amazon powers. Now Superman won't marry her for the same reason he won't marry me, so his enemies won't take vengeance by killing his wife. His villains don't operate on the honor system like hers clearly do. You know, not showing up and killing her despite her announcing that she's not only powerless but where she works. Wonder Woman puts out an appeal on TV to Superman, asking if he will come and join her for a circus charity event where they will perform some kind of double act. Perry decides that this is the type of news that the Daily Planet needs to be covering, and he sends Lois. Lois is thrilled to be going. This is going to be even better than her article about superheroes that she's kissed who aren't Superman. However, when she goes to Diana's boutique to gather more details, Diana asks her to procure a Mercury stone for her so she can fly and do aerial stunts with Superman. What was her plan if Lois couldn't get this, or if Lois just flew into a jealous rage? I hate that I love Wonder Woman's outfit. How will you do this aerial act with me, Wonder Woman, without trapezes or a net? Glad to see they didn't coordinate any of these stunts at all. How does he even know what they're doing? Oh wait, no net. Clearly the flying Grayson's routine. Too soon? Superman is disproportionately impressed that she's flying. I didn't know you were this super. Really? Nothing she did as a fully powered Wonder Woman is as impressive as somersaults in the air during a circus act. I'm sad for both of them. The crowd is loving it and shipping it, and it's starting to make Lois feel a bit insecure and jealous. Kiss her, Superman! Kiss Wonder Woman! Wonder Woman? My pleasure, Superman. Superman has layers. He'll get consent before kissing you, but at the same time have a busted mannequin room. They also agree to indulge the thirsty crowd very easily. Will they accept all requests? Because if so, Lois's story is about to get X-rated. Now Lois's nightmares about Superman marrying Wonder Woman seem more feasible than ever. I don't know why I'm crying. It's just a silly dream. Wonder Woman has no designs on Superman. I know he loves me. He does? Proof where? Perry loved this story so much he's gonna send Lois to cover a day in the life of Superman and Wonder Woman. He's gonna give it to Clark actually, but Clark avoids it by saying the story needs a woman's touch. And seeing as he's Superman and knows how Lois feels about him and allegedly has feelings for her, not cool, Clark. So Superman and Wonder Woman agree to spend the day together for this article, I guess. And Lois is gonna be there to document it all. Part 2. Yes, the story has 3 parts because it is just that epic. Lois finds our happy not couple at Diana's boutique trying on wigs. Embrace the wig life, Clark. Embrace it. One of us. One of us.
This wig is in my bag. It would add to my wind resistance when I'm flying. Hello, Lois.
What are you doing here on the assignment that I made sure that you got? You wanted her to see you in that wig. Don't pretend. Look at the hippie makeover Diana tries to give him. Bask in the horror. Live there a moment. Superman and Wonder Woman then decide to go for a walk and to a discotheque in the middle of the day. The club is packed, so I can only assume they heard they were coming unless discotheques/clubs being packed was a thing back in 1969 in the middle of the day. I would not know. People are dying for this. There are emergencies happening and Clark is not responding to them. All of this for a community puff piece. Plus Lois is crying as she takes pictures of all this. Worst boyfriend ever. Lois decides that she's not just gonna lose her man lying down, she's gonna compete, and so she goes to learn karate and judo. She's doing this so she can challenge Wonder Woman to a physical fight for Superman. Physical combat, the only true way to settle relationship rivalries. I'm sorry, Diana, but Superman's my whole life. That's sad, Lois. Look at how he's treating you. Is the Astounding Man android still an option? What about the King of Space? Can you call him? This fight really happens. We don't see how she goes about arranging it, but suddenly the next day she's in some valley with Superman and Wonder Woman getting ready to fight her for him. And he's just sitting there, contributing nothing except his best let them fight face. Not even an, oh ladies, don't fight over me, or I'm not dating Wonder Woman, or I'm not dating Lois, or just anything. Anything, Clark, come on. Clark can't stop destiny. Wonder Woman instantly plays dirty, using their sportsman starting handshake to flip Lois, then just proceeds to beat her to a pulp. That opening panel, it's real, but it's actually a brutal backhand. Clark is just as into it though. Again and again, the overwhelmed Lois is flipped in the air until, please help me get up or I'll lose Superman. I'm numb, nearly paralyzed. Can't lift a finger for it. Man I love. This is brutal. It's one of the most horrifying moments in a romance I've ever seen. It makes Clark look awful. After this, he just flies away with Wonder Woman. He doesn't even check to make sure Lois is okay or anything. And when they show him flying with Wonder Woman, they're not even talking about this. It doesn't warrant any conversation, apparently. It's so weird because you saw Clark's inner thoughts earlier about how he had to work and balancing being Superman and Clark. So the fact that they're not here now is very jarring. It just seems like a bit of an oversight to me. This moment to me is more important than they're treating it because I know this is just supposed to be like, rawr, chick fight, hubba hubba. Try not to rip your tights, ladies. But the implications are awful on so many levels, and they're only gonna get worse. But it's fine. If we didn't draw the bruises on her, then I guess she's not hurt. And her feelings, pfft. Superman says he wishes that Diana was invulnerable and had super strength. And so what follows is a series of demonstrations of Wonder Woman showing off that she does have super strength. And how she ends up showing that she's invulnerable is, oh, it's just a special moment. She goes to try and stop an atomic bomb from falling, misses, it explodes, he goes, oh no, she's dead, and then she flies up and he's like, oh yay, she's fine. I hope they were over somewhere unpopulated where the nuclear fallout and radiation isn't gonna be a problem, but I mean, who cares? Because Diana is invulnerable. Lois has been observing all of this through some tracking equipment Supes himself donated, and suddenly tells Jimmy he needs to get one of his souvenirs from his adventures with Superman for her. Part 3. Suddenly Lois is documenting the preparations for Superman and Wonder Woman's wedding, despite us never seeing him ask her. He's just bizarrely absent from important story developments. So Diana takes Lois to see her creepy Addams Family house, but doesn't let her inside, instead taking her dress shopping, when suddenly she nearly faints. Aha! She has a weakness after all, and I know what it is. Okay, it's time for this to go off the rails. It's not off yet. So Diana has been pretty awful to Lois this issue, so it's that time in the story where it's revealed as to why. Because Wonder Woman wouldn't treat Lois like this Would she? The answer is no. Wonder Woman wouldn't beat Lois into a twitching mass on the ground. She'd snap her neck. The real Wonder Woman was kidnapped and is in the basement of that scary manor home. She was taken out of her mod shop, as she calls it. Gee, it's almost like giving detailed magazine interviews about how you have no powers and also giving away your location is a bad idea. Lois says she got suspicious about Wonder Woman after the beatdown, when she seemed to have more powers than she had had before she was depowered. See, I'm so used to Wonder Woman and Superman being evenly matched that it's odd for me to remember that there was a time when they weren't necessarily always. Like, Wonder Woman would be really powerful in her own books, and then she would team up with other people, and sometimes that would suddenly just vanish and she'd be a lot daintier and need a bit more help. Can't emasculate Superman. There's actually a Justice League issue where she goes off on them for treating her like crap. Anyway, Lois had kryptonite on her that she got from Jimmy, and she tested it while they were dress shopping, which is why fake Wendy almost fainted. Jimmy had kryptonite in his souvenir room? Why? Did Superman give it to him? Did he steal it from a villain? Do we need to be really worried about Jimmy? Yes, the answer is yes. Fake Wonder Woman is actually a Kryptonian woman from the Phantom Zone, are you all, who was freed when a rocket exploded and that somehow tore a hole into the normal universe. Whatever, go with it. Her plan? Impersonate Wonder Woman, marry Superman, and run a criminal ring above suspicion because no one would suspect Superman's wife. Okay, why did she even suspect that Superman would go for Wonder Woman? This is what happens when you turn the Daily Planet into a gossip rag. Superman shows up and he has red kryptonite dust, which in this tale temporarily depowers her. He's not there because he figured anything out though. In fact, he only overheard the plan because he was coming to talk to Lois. He used his super hearing, which is confirmation that he could hear Lois crying the entire time for all those other events. Awful. He was coming over to talk to Lois because he had something to tell her, which he does after he easily dispatches his foe.
I wanted to say I decided not to marry Wonder Woman. I care too much for you, Lois.
Ah yes, dating a new woman in front of your girlfriend. Caring. Breaking up with your girlfriend without even telling her. Caring. Asking another woman to marry you after letting your girlfriend get beat up by your new girlfriend. Caring. He also tells her the RUL scheme wouldn't have worked anyway. He doesn't even talk to Diana at all. I sure hope her time in the dungeon was alright. The comic ends with Wonder Woman telling Lois she would never compete with Lois for Superman. Yeah, cause she knows how awful he is. And she has self-esteem, unless it's for Steve. But Steve's dead, so it doesn't matter. The fake Wonder Woman certainly gave me a few bad moments, but it's all over now. I almost forgot I was a reporter.
I did forget you were a reporter.
I still have a story to file.
But boy, what a twist this one has.
Why?
This cover is entertaining. The story inside is also entertaining,
but also traumatizing. The story on the surface is pretty standard. Wonder Woman gets replaced and sneaks her way into Superman's affections, and Lois has to figure out what's going on. But the execution is baffling. The way Superman treats Lois in the story is atrocious, even more appalling than normal, and this is a man who pretended to be another man and asked Lois to marry him so he could see what the answer would be.
The bar is always moving for Clark in these stories.
It's even more stark by contrast because it's clumsily executed. Like, where's our I'm dating her over you cause she's super panel, or his proposal panel? It's just leaving a lot for the reader to infer, which you can, but it's just kind of absent. Why is it not there? I thought it wasn't because it had something to do with the reveal, but then it didn't. It was just Clark being callous. I guess I can take comfort in the fact that Lois now knows self-defense. This fact that Superman never sees anything off with how Diana is acting is telling too. But I mean, Mod Wonder Woman was pretty much a different person, so fair. And Clark in this story has zero time for anybody else's feelings. He does have time to boogie on down during the middle of the day though. There is a place for a we both want the same person story, but it's not all the time. The trope is very forced and stereotypical here. Rendered all the more bizarre because it wasn't even Lois versus Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman didn't even appear until the last couple pages. I can say this, I shan't forget it. Fishnets. Lois getting beaten into the ground by a Kryptonian holding back her strength while Superman watched and enjoyed. What did you think of this tale? Was it what you expected based on the cover? Are you as scandalized by Superman's behavior as I am? Some of you have been leaving issues of Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane to check out down below, and keep doing that. And also while you're down there, please do all the other YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
You